Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. We are doing the chapter why do we need a parliament, and we have completed our discussion of this chapter, and now we are doing the extra questions, है ना? So the question is write the full form of MP. What is the full form of MP? Member of Parliament. Now the second question is write the full form of MLA. What is the full form of MLA? Member of Legislative Assembly. Okay, and now the next question is what do you mean by constituency? So what is the answer? For the purpose of रुक जाइए, I am telling you. What do you mean by constituency? In order to elect the representatives, comma, the country is divided into small areas, which is known as constituency. Okay, and now the next question is how are the MPs elected? How are the MPs elected? The MPs are elected by elections which are held at regular interval of 5 years. In the election of MPs, all the adult citizens of the country participate. In the election of the MPs, all the adult citizens of the country exercise their right to vote. Not participate, you will write exercise their right to vote. Okay, and now the next question is how are the MLAs elected? The MLAs are elected by elections which are held at the regular interval of 5 years. In the election of MLAs, the adult citizens of a particular state exercise their right to vote. Okay, so this is these are the questions, and now we will see some another questions. Okay, now the next question is what do you mean by representative democracy, or define representative democracy? What do you mean by representative democracy. So your answer will be representative. In representative democracies, people do not participate directly, but instead, choose their representatives through an election process. These representatives meet and make decisions for the entire population. Okay, so this is about representative democracy. Okay, and now we will see the next question. So the next question is, how many number of seats, how many number of seats are required in the Lok Sabha how many number of seats are required in the Lok Sabha by a political party to form the government. How many number of seats are required in the Lok Sabha by a political party to form the government? So what is your answer? Your answer is 272 members or more. कम से कम 272 है ना, 272 members or more. Okay, and now we will see the next question. The next question is, what do you mean by coalition government? What do you mean by coalition government? So, what is coalition government? You will write down that when a single political party is not able to get the majority that is required to form the government, then they join together with different political parties in order to form the government. This type of government is known as coalition government. This type of government is known as coalition government. Okay, so this is about coalition government. And now we have a next question. The next question is, now we have next question. The next question is, who is the leader of who is the leader of the uh, Lok Sabha? The leader of the Lok Sabha is Prime Minister. Okay, so this is your answer. The leader of the Lok Sabha is the Prime Minister. And now the next question is, what do you mean by opposition party? Okay. So now your answer is the political party which gets the majority of the seats forms the government, and the second largest political party forms the opposition in the Lok Sabha. Okay, and now we will see the next question. The next question is, whom does the Lok Sabha represent? The question is, whom does the Lok Sabha रिप्रेजेंट? है ना, लोक सभा किसको रिप्रेजेंट करती है? द लोक सभा रिप्रेजेंट्स द कॉमन पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री. ओके, एंड नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, whom does the Rajya Sabha represent? The Rajya Sabha represents the states of India. Okay, and now we will see the next question. The next question is, what is the importance of parliament what is the importance of parliament in a democracy? In a democracy. So you will write down, the parliament is the representative body of the common people. Parliament is the representative body of the common people, and through the parliament people participate in the decision making process. Through the parliament people participate in the decision making process, and it ensures the government by the consent of the people. It ensures the government by the consent of the people. So this is your answer. And now we see the next question. Write the functions, or what are the functions of parliament? The question is, what are the functions of parliament? The first function of the parliament is to select the national government. Okay, to select the national government. The second function of the parliament is to control, guide and inform the government. To control, guide and inform the government. The third function of the parliament is to make laws. Okay, these are the three important functions of the this parliament. Okay, and now we have next question. How does the parliament control the government? So the answer is, the parliament controls the government by following method. Dash. First point, by asking questions from the ministers. By asking questions from the ministers. And then the second point is, in the financial matters, the parliament's approval is crucial for the government. In financial matters, the parliament's approval is crucial for the government. Okay, so this is your answer. And now we see the next question. The next question is, for which groups some seats are reserved in Lok Sabha. So some seats in Lok Sabha, some seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. And now the last question is, the question is, why is there demand for reservation of seats for women? Why is there demand for reservation of seats for women? So your answer will be that there is demand for reservation of seats for women because their representation in the Lok Sabha is not sufficient. Their representation in the Lok Sabha is not sufficient, SUFFICIENT. Okay, so then the next sentence will be 60 years ago only 4% of MPs were women, and today it is just above 11%. Okay, this is your answer. Now we have completed this chapter. Okay, now we will move to the next chapter. The next chapter is related with this legislature lawmaking process only. So we will be starting the next chapter. So this is your chapter 4. Understanding laws. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the law. What is the importance of law, how laws are made, what is the process of law making, then do these laws apply to everyone. Then we will also discuss some controversial laws, like there may be some laws which can be beneficial for some people but harmful for another. So we will discuss all these topics. First of all, when we are discussing law, understanding law chapter is, so the first topic which we are going to discuss is the rule of law. Rule of law, simply it means that the country is ruled by law. The country is not ruled by any person or individual or group of individuals, but it is law which is governing the country. The Prime Minister, suppose at present we have Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. So it's not the person who is holding this post of Prime Minister, he will act according to the laws, he cannot use his powers in an arbitrary manner. He will have to follow the law. Everyone has to follow the law. So अगर हम देखें तो कौन रूल कर रहा है? It's not individual, it's law which is ruling the country. The individuals, the different people who are holding such important posts like the post of Prime Minister, the post of Cabinet Ministers, they are only there to execute the laws. They are not there to use the power in an arbitrary manner. They are not there to make laws or execute laws in an arbitrary manner. रूल ऑफ लॉ का यही मतलब है कि जो लॉ है दैट इज़ फॉर एवरीवन, है ना. एक कोई भी अगर लॉ कंट्री में बन रहा है तो ये नहीं है कि सपोज कोई अपर कास्ट के लोग हैं तो उनके लिए डिफरेंट रूल्स होंगे, लॉज होंगे, लोअर कास्ट के लिए डिफरेंट लॉज होंगे. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. जो लॉ है वो सबके लिए बराबर है, सबके लिए एक समान है. और अगर कोई भी उस लॉ को वायलेट करता है तो he or she will be punished. In that situation it will not be of any concern ki that person belongs to which community or caste, or the person is the son or daughter of any important dignitaries. No, these things will not be taken into consideration, because in our country we have adopted this rule of law according to which law is same for all, है ना. The law cannot discriminate between people on the basis of their religion, caste or gender. The law applies equally to all citizens of the country, है ना. जितने भी citizens हैं country के, उन सब पे वो equally apply करता है, and no one can be above the law. law के ऊपर कोई नहीं हो सकता है. Okay, neither a government official nor a wealthy person nor even the president of the country is above the law. Everyone is under the law. चाहे वो president हो, चाहे वो peon हो, चाहे वो कोई government official हो, चाहे वो एक rich person हो, चाहे वो poor person हो, everyone is under the same law. No one is above the law. This is rule of law, है ना. And if there is violation of law, then there will be punishment for that person who is violating the law. Okay, so this is called rule of law, which was established by our constitution makers when we adopted this new constitution in the year 1950. So हमने rule of law को समय establish किया, but it was not like this in the ancient time. अगर हम ancient India को देखें तो उस समय rule of law नहीं हुआ करता था. Why? Because we can say that this rule of law and democracy are closely related to each other. Ancient India को अगर हम देखें या medieval period में भी देखते हैं तो that was the period of monarchy. मोनार्क्स हुआ करते थे, राजा हुआ करते थे. राजा के लिए कानून नहीं होता है. राजा जो कहता है वही कानून बन जाता है. राजा कानून से ऊपर माना जाता है. You are knowing all these things, है ना. The king is supposed to be above the law. The laws are not for the kings and the royal family. So अगर हम ancient India को देखते हैं तो what we find that there were so many overlapping local laws. There was lack of clarity, we can say. codification नहीं था. एक ही crime के लिए कई तरह के अलग अलग laws थे, है ना. और हर community को कुछ हद तक autonomy मिली हुई थी. Like अगर कोई upper caste का पर्सन और लोअर कास्ट का पर्सन दोनों सेम टाइप ऑफ वो करते हैं, क्राइम करते हैं, तो क्या होगा कि जो अपर कास्ट का पर्सन होता था उसको कंपैरेटिवली कम पनिशमेंट मिलता था, लोअर कास्ट के पर्सन को ज़्यादा पनिशमेंट मिलता था. तो ये सिचुएशन जो है वो प्रिवेल कर रही थी, एंशिएंट इंडिया में करती थी, है ना. तो धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ कि ये चेंजेस आए, है ना, और हम रूल ऑफ लॉ को हमने अडॉप्ट किया. कई बार ऐसा कहा जाता है, इट इज़ ऑफन बिलीव्ड दैट इट वाज द ब्रिटिश colonialist who introduced this rule of law in India, because before the coming of the British we were not having rule of law. Before the coming of the British we were only we have only that local laws थे जो ओवरलैप करते थे, एंड द मोनार्क वाज सपोज्ड टू बी अबव द रूल ऑफ अबव द लॉ. तो इट इज़ मैनी टाइम्स इट इज़ आर्ग्यूड दैट कि यही हैं, ब्रिटिश ही हैं जो हमारे यहाँ रूल ऑफ लॉ लाए हैं. लेकिन ये इस क्लेम को हम सही नहीं कहेंगे. हम इस क्लेम को गलत कहेंगे, रिफ्यूज़ करेंगे, और उसके पीछे हम कुछ अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट्स देंगे. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ आवर आर्ग्यूमेंट वी कैन प्रूव दैट this belief that the British has introduced rule of law in India is wrong. Okay, अब वो क्या है बेसिस, किस आधार पे हम ये कह रहे हैं, हम लोग ये सब कुछ जब हम लोग अब अपने नेक्स्ट क्लास में मिलेंगे तो हम लोग इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. ओके.